As Henrietta V once said, we few, we happy few, we band of sisters. We are here tonight at midnight, the 1st of January 2023, here at the Old Bailey. In London to celebrate 200 years to the exact moment since sex segregation came into legal force across the whole of the then British Empire, and to launch a year of commemorative events globally to celebrate sex segregation as the best rape prevention mechanism there is. Why the Old Bailey? Because it stands on the footprint of Newgate Jail, known for 600 years for its appalling conditions, including the rape and sexual violence and intimidation of female prisoners, as witnessed by Elizabeth Fry, who then dedicated her life to sex segregation, which she achieved with the 1823 Gaols Act, which mandated sex segregation for all prisons, female warders for female prisoners. Remember the back of the old fiver? Elizabeth Fry and Newgate Jail, innit? Elizabeth Fry could not conceive that 200 years later that transgender males would be placed into female prisons because they gender identify as women. So she missed the female prisoners for female warders, and that's, you know what, that's our job, to sort that out. 100 years before women got the vote, Elizabeth Fry was the first woman to give evidence to a House of Commons Select Committee to protect female prisoners, women and girls, from rape. Even the Quakers, who celebrate her, have watered down her legacy to just a penal reformer. But her whole life's work was the protection of female prisoners from the sexual predation by male prisoners. Like Elizabeth Fry, I am a Quaker. We call ourselves seekers after the truth. I may not, by religious conviction, take her name in vain, but I have spent 4.5 years of using my autistic superpower collecting and analysing relevant UK government data. I am here in fullest good conscience to tell you Elizabeth Fry would be turning in her grave. Sex segregation works as rape prevention, not only because you keep the sexual offenders out, but because adult females do not sexually offend against adult females. The UK government statistics tell us that, and we need to start using them. I know a lot of people switch off at numbers, so we have put them in the video notes and as a separate video. But once you have adjusted 7 years of transgender data and adjusted it to their tiny population of no more than 500,000, then transgender criminality, including their sexual criminality, never mind what it is compared to men, we're dealing with women's prisons, women's hospitals, women's rape crisis centres. The transgender criminality, including their sexual criminality, is far higher than the female population. And that is the test that they have to meet to go into a single female sex segregated spaces. And I have a handle on all the stats, and they cannot get anywhere close. 80% of transgender prisoners are transgender males. 50% of transgender prisoners are sexual offenders. I can tell you that even if you learn one of these statistics and use it once per day, once per week, or even once per month, that our struggle will be shorter. When they are used together, they are totally compelling. UK data already shows an urgent need for a reform, if not total abolition, of the Gender Recognition Act, especially the gender recognition certificates, a legalised lie made Same-Sex Marriages Act. 2. Reform of the Equality Act. Sex segregation must be made absolute right for the female population, not excluding trans men. It also needs to include a public sector duty which explicitly states there is a legal duty on all organisations such as prisons, hospitals and commercial organisations like clothes shopping, a legal duty to protect the female population from the known, going back for 100 years, of male violence against the female population. Most of all, I am here doing my thing to celebrate all the rapes and sexual offences that did not happen over 200 years, because Elizabeth Fry did her thing. I am here to celebrate women and girls across the world resisting this transgender madness, especially the Aussie women whose Parramatta barracks in Sydney is the direct result of the work of Elizabeth Fry. You Sydney women, get yourselves to Parramatta barracks because we want selfies. I am here tonight, as I plan to be for a whole year, to rededicate myself to getting the relevant UK government data ignored by the Scottish Parliament onto the desk of every single MP before the next UK general election. And finally, to wish you a happy and sex-segregated New Year.